You're reporting past a law. Your reporting is getting people out of conservatorship.
This is obvious when you drive along Highway 50, where you can see home after home being constructed. While this report is confidential, really only for the judge's eyes, we were able to obtain a copy. Now, even if you're able to get across this huge border wall and the Border Patrol waiting on the other side, it's just the first step in what is a long journey ahead. But perhaps the biggest question of all came after a discovery that the Trestle Project, the U.S. Forest Service's own promise to help protect Grizzly Flats, was never finished. Leandros' death occurred over 4 years ago here in Sacramento County, but the world wasn't familiar with the dangers of a person being under the weight of officers while in a prone position until May 25th, 2020. That was the day that George Floyd died, when our streets went from looking like this to... Now, if someone is trying to cross the border and they're apprehended by Border Patrol, they're put right here where I'm sitting in the back of this Border Patrol car before they're taken into custody. I've been investigating conservatorships for over 2 years now, and throughout this process, we've spoken with experts.
What if the violator is a state entity?
System insiders.
Total disregard for the client's desires.
And stood in empty homes, hearing the stories of those heartbroken, having their loved ones taken from them.
It's inhumane, just absolutely inhumane.
I walked by his bedrooms knowing that that's where he should be and that's what he loves and that's what he wants.
All because of a broken system.
It's almost like he was held hostage, like in the 21st century.
Broken on every single level.
They're not really doing a good job of really overseeing these regional centers.
But especially at the top, the state agency in charge of ensuring people with disabilities have equal and fair rights, the Department of Developmental Services, is failing. So we'll end this investigation with where we began, with the Schutte family and their message for DDS.
Clearly the system is broken. And parts of this system can be fixed here and now and don't require additional law. It just requires people to do the right thing. Please do so.
And we've been here throughout the last 24 hours coming and going, and let me tell you, this is the highest we've seen the storm surge here. And I'm gonna go over here and just show you how easy it is to drop off your ballot. I actually brought mine from home, and you have until 8 p.m. tonight to do this. We've seen firefighters fighting, helicopters dropping water, trying to suppress these flames the best way they can. Right now we have these big bright camera lights, so when we turn them off, it's pitch black. Now, this is what many of these locals out here are dealing with, and for some like this neighborhood, they still have quite some time until that power is restored. I'm standing on one of the boat docks right here, and the water is almost just parallel. Law enforcement and California leaders don't want the same violence that occurred at the United States Capitol a week ago to occur here. That's why these barricades have been placed up all around the Capitol, but that's not the only thing that's being done to get ready. Just because voting is now over doesn't mean that it's over here at the elections office. Actually, they're just getting started, and it's going to be a long night as well as a long couple weeks ahead.
Andie, the balance of power in Congress in the spotlight. What is standing out to you right now?
Yeah, Laura, it looks like Republicans are favored to take the House. Now, Republicans and Democrats, either side, need to get to 218 in order to take the House. And as you can see, Republicans are getting very close.
Andie, what did you find?
Well, Walt, CareCourt is a new and drastic plan that aims at getting between 5,000 and 12,000 with severe mental health issues off the streets.
Andie, let's talk about the rules that are actually changing. Can you explain that a little bit more?
Absolutely. So these rules were proposed by the California State Bar after an audit that they did found an attorney mismanaging their client's trust fund. So these new rules will require attorneys to do a number of things like reporting that they are simply managing those clients' trust funds. That's something that we probably all thought was already happening, but it wasn't. And this newly established district, it's one of the longest in California. You can see it goes all the way from the Sierras all the way up to over here in the suburbs of Sacramento. Now, Kylie actually is the assembly member for the suburbs, so it's interesting to see they are turning blue and red. But one of the things experts have told us is this is also one of the biggest growing regions in terms of population. So I want to say again to DDS that we are still open to doing an on-camera interview with you. We do believe that you owe answers to Californians who are funding your agency through our tax dollars. Hi, Ms. Nixon. We have a couple of questions for you.
No comment.
You heard yourself.
No comment.
You have nothing to say to the families or anything and conserving people? We would love to share
I'll
your
speak to the
side.
families directly, not through the media.
Okay, well, you're not willing to speak with the families, so that's why we're got involved.
No comment.
By checking the box that they did that was undetermined rather than homicide, it didn't give it the opportunity to have that investigation.
Should be investigated, yes.
You know, why are we using billions of dollars to create something new when the systems we have in place are already broken? Why are we not fixing those?
Which, in my impression, is the entire point of the Department of Developmental Services. Can you talk about that finding? So to this day, Garth's court-appointed attorney has never actually met Garth?
That is correct, and it hasn't been changed.
What more can the state do to get people the answers and the help that they need?
Do you want to talk about how that happened?
And do you believe that corruption is happening here in the Sacramento County Probate Court?
Yes.
It's an organization that represents people with disabilities, and people with disabilities often can't communicate the same way that you and I are, and they're saying that he has to call.
Yeah.